Chosen one, God said you're out of alignment. Reset now. This message isn't to shame you, but to awaken you. It is a divine interruption in the middle of what seemed like a routine path. You may have felt confused, stuck, or strangely disconnected from your inner power lately, and that's not a coincidence. That is a sign from above. A holy whisper trying to alert your spirit that you've drifted off course. Sometimes we think we're still aligned because we're moving. But God sees when the direction of our movement no longer leads to our destiny. You are not being punished. You are being called back to yourself, back to alignment, back to divine order. This is your moment to reset, not out of panic, but with purpose. Stay with me until the very end of this video. Something powerful is unfolding as we speak. Write your warmest wishes in the comments below with the number 99. This isn't just a tradition. It's an energetic ignition. A wave of intentions released into the universe to manifest what is ready to unfold. This is your chance to not only receive, but to radiate your belief in what's possible. This is a chapter about wishes coming true and energizing the universe. And our comment could be the key that opens something bigger than you expect. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, let's be honest for a moment. Life has been loud lately. The noise of opinions, the weight of responsibilities, the pressure of expectations. It's all become a fog that made it hard to see where your soul was leading you. You've been doing things out of habit, saying yes when you meant no, moving forward with plans that no longer reflect your purpose. And the most dangerous part of misalignment is that it doesn't always feel wrong. It can feel normal. It can feel productive. It can even feel successful. But deep down your spirit knows. That unease in your chest, that whisper of unease, that mysterious fatigue despite doing everything right, those are soul alarms. That's God pulling on your spirit, reminding you that it's time to pause, reflect, and reset. Alignment is not about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about realigning your actions with your anointing, your decisions with your destiny, your presence with your purpose. And sometimes the greatest reset comes not through some dramatic change, but through a quiet return. A return to yourself. A return to your truth, a return to God's frequency. When God says you're out of alignment, it's not an accusation. It's a lifeline. It means Shivan is still watching you closely, caring enough to root you before you crash. That's grace in its purest form. You might be wondering, how did I get here? It's okay to ask that. In fact, it's necessary. This is the moment to trace your steps back to the point where things started to shift. Was it a relationship that derailed your confidence? A job that stole your joy, a secret compromise that dimmed your spirit? The reset begins with recognition. And recognition requires courage, the kind of courage that says, I will no longer live disconnected from who I truly am. Because when you live out of alignment, you may still function, but you do not flourish. There is a version of you that only lives when you are aligned. That version is not tired all the time. That version doesn't live in fear of missing out because alignment breeds peace. That version doesn't chase, they attract. Because aligned energy is magnetic. You were never meant to beg for your blessings. You were meant to receive them as a reflection of who you authentically are. And if your life has felt like a battlefield lately, it's not because you're losing. It's because your soul is fighting to come back into order. There's nothing wrong with you. You're awakening. This reset will require a pause. And many people fear the pause because the pause feels like stillness. It feels like lost time. But in the kingdom of God, the pause is a power move. It is in the pause that you hear again, that you see again, that you breathe again. You cannot realign while sprinting. You must slow down to recalibrate. You must retreat to remember. You must empty to be filled again. So give yourself the grace to stop and examine everything, not with judgment, but with love. Where are you living from fear instead of faith? Where are you trying to control instead of trust? Where have you silenced your intuition to please others? These are the questions that unlock your next level. God is saying, I want their you back. Not the one who performs, Not the one who blends in. Not the one who compromises to avoid conflict. The real you. The one who was born with divine fire, with a voice that shakes rooms, with a heart that remembers truth even when the world tries to erase it. The real you. The one who was assigned, anointed, and appointed for such a time as this. That version of you is not gone. It's just waiting for the reset, chosen one. Your gifts have been whispering for attention. Your peace has been begging for your protection. Your body has been signaling that something is off. Don't ignore the signs anymore. God doesn't always shout. Sometimes He nudges, He rearranges. He delays things to get your attention. He frustrates plans not to punish you, but to protect you from walking further into what no longer serves your calling. If you're frustrated, it might be sacred. I fear. Delayed, you might be divinely redirected. Don't resist the ROOT. Honor it. There is a life waiting for you on the other side of this reset. A life with clarity, ease, and flow. A life where things begin to align effortlessly because you finally say yes to being real again. Real with yourself, real with God, real with your purpose. The reset is not about returning to who you used to be. It's about rising into who you really are, and to get there, you must let go of what you thought you had to be. You must be willing to be misunderstood, even abandoned, for the sake of your truth. But let me tell you this, alignment will place what fear tries to steal. You will not lose what's yours by realigning. You'll only lose what was pretending to be for you. So what does it mean to reset? It means to silence the noise and listen to the inner instruction. It means to step back from toxic cycles and choose peace over performance. It means to say no without guilt and yes with hesitation. It means to prioritize your spirit over your schedule. It means toast yourself every day. Is this in alignment with who I am becoming? And if answer is no, to be brave enough to let it go. You are not behind. You are being aligned. This is your moment. You're not being called to reset because you failed. You're being called to reset because your next level is too powerful to carry misalignment into it. This isn't themed. It's the beginning of something precise, something divinely measured for you. Trust that. Even if you can't see how it all fits yet, trust the voice inside you that's been growing louder. Trust the restlessness. It's sacred. Trust the discomfort. It's instructive. Trust the detour. It's divine. You are not lost. You are being found again. And this time, it will be the most authentic version of you. The version that can stand in storms without collapsing. The version that radiates light without seeking approval. The version that doesn't need to explain, justify, or defend. Because alignment is its own validation, God said you're out of alignment. Not to shame you, but to empower you. So, chosen one, reset now. Chosen one, let's go even deeper. Realignment doesn't just happen in a moment, it unfolds over time. It's a sacred reordering of your life that begins when you stop pretending everything is okay and admit that your soul has been aching. This world trains you to perform, to strive, to adapt constantly. But performance without alignment leads to exhaustion, and adaptation without discernment leads to misdirection. You are not created to wear a mask for the sake of fitting in. You were born to stand in your truth and be the exception. You feel off because you are too powerful to live in misalignment for long. And now your soul is demanding jintaja, not perfection but alignment. That sacred inner consistency between who you are and what you do. There is something specific that triggered this imbalance. Maybe it was a compromise. Maybe it was a moment where you silenced your spirit to keep peace. Maybe you said yes to an opportunity that was exciting but not aligned with your assignment. Or maybe you've been fighting to hold on to a version of yourself that God has been asking you to let go. This is a call to stop trying to resurrect what God is letting die. Not everything that falls apart is a loss. Sometimes it's divine release. You have outgrown what you were clinging to, and now the heavens are giving you permission to evolve. Chosen 1. When you are out of alignment, you attract confusion. You'll feel unclear, indecisive, anxious, you wake up heavy. You chase distractions. You lower your standards. And you begin to doubt your own discernment. But when you are aligned, clarity becomes your compass. You don't second guess your moves. You don't chase, you command, you don't ask for permission. You take up space boldly because you know you're where you're meant to be. So if the fog has been thick, that's your invitation to check your alignment. When life feels off, don't just ask what's wrong, ask what's misaligned. Your body will even signal misalignment. Watch how you feel around certain people. Notice how you feel after certain conversations. Observe how your energy responds to certain environments. Your spirit is constantly trying to lead you back to center. And the body is the loudspeaker of the soul. That tightness you feel around someone that isn't overthinking, that's your intuition alerting you. That drain you feel after a meeting or a relationship interaction, that's not just fatigue. That's energetic misalignment. Stop dismissing your signals. Start trusting them. They are really breadcrumbs back to your divine self. It's time to cleanse. Cleanse your schedule. Cleanse your thoughts. Cleanse your space. Cleanse your circle. When you are trying to walk in divine power, you cannot afford spiritual clutter. Everything you allow around you either feeds your fire or drains it. This is the season of sacred decisions. The kind of decisions that may disappoint others but will finally deliver you. The kind of decisions that may look foolish to the world, but will restore your spirit. This is not about being liked. It's about being aligned, chosen one. God is not asking you to be perfect before He blesses you. He is asking you to be willing. Willing to release what's not for you. Willing to shut doors that feel familiar but are leading you nowhere. Willing to walk alone if necessary. Willing to trust that what He has for you will never require self-betrayal. Let go of the idea that alignment always feels good. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it comes with loss. But what you gain is unshakable peace. And that peace is more valuable than any counterfeit connection or opportunity. Your assignment is not random. Your presence on this earth is not accidental. And when you're out of alignment, the entire system suffers. There are people assigned to your voice, your ideas, your presence. And when you shrink, when you fake, when you numb, they miss the real you. That's why this reset matters. Because your alignment is not just for you. It's for the collective. Your breakthrough is contagious. Your courage becomes a roadmap. Your authenticity gives others permission to show up as they are. You realigning could be the miracle someone else has been praying for. This is a spiritual adjustment, not just a mental decision. You cannot think your way into alignment. You must feel your way, trust your way, surrender your way into it. Let your spirit lead again. Reconnect with what lights you up. Revisit the dreams you buried under practicality. Reignite the faith you silenced under logic. Alignment often requires faith over facts. It demands that you stop waiting for external confirmation and move based on internal conviction. Because sometimes what looks misaligned to the world is exactly what heaven has appointed, chosen one.
This
reset will separate you, not to punish you but to preserve you. Some people cannot go where you're going. Not because they're bad, but because they don't fit the next version of your life. Some habits cannot survive this shift. Not because they're evil, but because they weigh too much. God is asking you to travel light. This alignment is about refinement. Stripping away the unnecessary so your spirit can rise unburdened. Let it go. Whatever itis, the fear, the resentment, the doubt, the old story, it has no place in your new frequency. There is a sound inside you that has been muted for too long. A sound of truth, of boldness, of divine rhythm. And God is saying, turn the volume back up. Stop shrinking. Stop adjusting your tone to make others comfortable. Stop playing small because you're afraid of being misunderstood. This is the season where your voice must be loud enough to align your reality with your destiny. Speak what you see. Claim what you carry. Move like you've already been confirmed. Because in the eyes of heaven you have. Remember, alignment is not a destination. It's a daily decision. Every day you must choose truth over comfort, clarity over confusion, integrity over image. Every day you must ask, is this aligned with the assignment on my life? And if the answer is no, you must be bold enough to walk away. Because misalignment always costs more than alignment ever will. It may seem like a sacrifice now, but staying out of alignment will cost your peace, your purpose, your energy, and eventually your time. And time, chosen one, is the one thing you can never get back. Your soul is not tired because you're lazy. It's tired because you've been carrying what you were never meant to hold. You've been running on low vibration, living in survival mode, faking your way through rooms you were never designed to be in. It's time to unplug, reset, recharge, reconnect. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to explain your realignment. You just have to obey. Obedience is the secret to overflow. And alignment is the first step to obedience. This is the divine moment when heaven leans in, watching to see I feel choose you again, not the broken you, not the insecure you, not the version of you molded by trauma, but the you that God whispered into existence before the world tried to edit your truth. That version of you is still alive, still waiting, still ready. Reset. No, chosen one, you've waited long enough. Chosen one, there's something powerful you need to hear. The symptoms of misalignment are often mistaken for life just being hard. You've been telling yourself that you're just tired, just overwhelmed, just waiting for a better season. But in truth, something deeper has been happening. The unease, the anxiety, the struggle to concentrate, the emotional highs and lows. The way your creativity has been blocked, none of it is random. These are not ordinary fluctuations of life. These are the direct effects of you living beneath your true frequency. God has been nudging you, pressing on your heart, shaking your foundation, not to destroy you, but to alert you. When you're out of alignment, even your blessings feel heavy. You've likely been trying to force things, trying to make old methods work in a new season, trying to revive expired connections, trying to succeed in environments that drain you. You've been negotiating with your spirit, making excuses for patterns. You've outgrown, holding on to roles, titles, and identities that no longer fit you. But God's calling on your life will not allow you to remain in spiritual dislocation. What was once effective will become exhausting when you've shifted out of divine agreement. You may even find that what used to bring joy now brings dread.
That's
The sign, that's the voice of realignment whispering to you through experience. When God says you're out of alignment, He is also saying, I'm giving you the power to come back home. He's not abandoning you. He's not angry. He's not condemning you. He's re-inviting you to wholeness. That internal conflict you feel, that's your divine self fighting to be seen again. That ache in your heart isn't emptiness. It's a call to authenticity. You are being summoned. Not to do more, not to prove more, but to be more present, more intentional, more surrendered. This is not about hustle. This is about harmony. Chosen one, let's expose a hard truth together. Misalignment feels safe sometimes, especially when it's all you've known. The wrong thing done long enough begins to feel normal, and the truth will feel foreign after being disconnected from it for so long. But the longer you remain out of alignment, the more distorted your vision becomes. You start calling chaos God's process. You start calling confusion growth. You begin adjusting your entire life to accommodate things you should have released. But you're wiser now. You're braver now. You're ready to do what you couldn't do last season. Choose alignment even when it's uncomfortable. Real alignment demands radical honesty. It forces you to admit when something is no longer working. It requires you to look in the mirror and acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, you became the architect of your own chaos. Not out of malice, but out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of disappointing others. But fear will keep you misaligned. Forever, you must be willing to walk through fear to reach your truth. You must be willing to release what you love if it's blocking what you were born to become. That's not loss. It's trust. There is a version of you on the other side of this reset that does not flinch in the face of discomfort. That version trusts silence. That version does not seek constant reassurance because alignment brings clarity and clarity brings peace. You won't need to beg for confirmations. When you're aligned, everything around you will begin to respond to the shift within you. The people who are meant to walk with you will appear. The doors that match your new vibration will open. The opportunities that used to evade you will come chasing you down. But none of this activates until you realign. You've likely been feeling a pull away from things, even people you love. Don't confuse this with rebellion. This is not you becoming cold or distant. It's yourself finally maturing. God will allow discomfort in places you've outgrown to push you toward purpose. He will block what you once enjoyed to help you reclaim what you forgot.
He's not trying to confuse you. He's trying to wake you up.
The reset is a rescue mission. Your future self is calling you back. Chosen one, this isn't just about one area of your life. It's about your full alignment. Your thoughts, your choices, your relationships, your priorities. Everything must come into order. That's why things have been shaking. That's why people are falling away. That's why the things you used to tolerate now feel unbearable. You're not becoming bitter. You're becoming discerning. You're not being rude. You're setting standards. You're not isolating. You're incubating the next version of yourself. Realignment often begins with isolation, but isolation isn't punishment, it's protection. You are being divinely protected from distractions, from jitters, from dead ends. What feels like delay is a shield. What feels like a denial is divine redirection. Trust this space. It may be quiet, but it's sacred. And in this silence, God is rewiring your perspective. He's unclogging your spiritual ears. He's upgrading your intuition. So stop fighting for clarity in places that are built on noise. Go within. Realignment starts there. The inner voice you've been ignoring, it's getting louder for a reason. The decisions you've been putting off, they're becoming unbearable to avoid. The people who've been draining your peace, they're showing their true energy more clearly than ever. This is not an attack. It's a revelation. Alignment reveals what you've been too afraid to admit. It brings light to the shadow, and it calls you to move accordingly. No more pretending. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more spiritual negotiations with people or plans that do not honor your calling. This is the reset. And make no mistake, alignment will cost you something. It will cost comfort. It will cost relationships that thrive on your silence. It will cost old identities that were built to please others. But what you gain you gain clarity. You gain peace, you gain confidence, you gain God's full backing. Because when you align, you move with heaven's momentum. You stop striving and start flowing. You stop begging and start receiving. You stop surviving and begin thriving. Chosen one. You've dimmed yourself for too long. You've compromised your standards, you've whispered your truth, and you've wondered why everything feels off. It's time to come back to center. You do not have to earn alignment. You just have to return to it. It's not about doing more. It's about choosing what is right. It's about slowing down and listening again. What is your spirit saying? What has God been trying to show you? What parts of your life feel like borrowed energy and counterfeit peace? That's where your work begins, so start today. Realign your focus, realign your words, realign your vision. Begin by sitting in silence and simply saying, God, show me what is no longer
Me.
and watch what is revealed. Don't fear the truth. Don't run from the clarity this time. Choose obedience over avoidance. Choose discipline over delay. Choose purpose over pretending. The shift is not coming. It's already here, and your alignment is the key to stepping into it fully. Chosen one, listen carefully. Your breakthrough has not been denied. It's been delayed by my misalignment. It was never about whether you were worthy. It was about whether you were in position. Blessings have destinations. And if you are standing in a version of your life that was built on compromise, God will hold certain doors until you shift. Not because He's punishing you, but because He refuses to give divine treasure to a version of you that no longer exists. Your blessing is not late. Your alignment is. You are standing in a divine threshold right now. One move could change everything, but that move must come from the real you, the aligned you. The version of you that listens to your gut, trusts your instincts, and no longer needs a crowd to feel chosen. This is not the time to act for approval. This is the time to be authentic without apology. You cannot realign while wearing masks. You cannot reset while performing. Realigment's truth. The raw, unfiltered, sacred truth about who you are, where you are, and what you've been tolerating. Let this be the season where you stop managing symptoms and start ailing at the root. Misalignment creates confusion, yes, but more dangerously, it creates a false sense of normal. You begin to justify things you hate. You call cycles seasons, when they're really prisons. You cling to dysfunction and call it loyalty. But the pain of misalignment isn't here to destroy you, it's here to awaken you. God is not trying to embarrass you by exposing the areas of your life that aren't working. He's trying to elevate you by removing the things that cannot go with you. You cannot rise while being anchored to what you've outgrown, and yet many of us stay stuck because we've confused familiarity with safety. You think just because, the rhythm of dysfunction that you're equipped to survive it. But you weren't born to survive, you were born to soar. And no one soars while dragging dead weight. What in your life has expired? What have you outgrown? What have you clung to simply because it was predictable? These are the questions that make resets powerful. These are the revelations that unlock your next elevation. Chosen one. God has already cleared the path. What's missing is your courage to walk it. You've been asking for a confirmation. Here it is. You're being pulled in a new direction. For a reason. The energy is different. The people are different. The doors that once flew open now feel sealed shut. And that's not rejection, it's redirection. God is closing what no longer serves your soul's assignment. You're not being abandoned. You're being preserved. This moment in your life is occurred. Don't rush through it. The pressure you feel is not meant to break you. It's meant to reveal you. Pressurize a divine tool. It shows you what can stay and what must go. It separates the authentic from the artificial. It brings to light the cracks you've tried to ignore. Let the pressure do its work. Let it push you into prayer. Let it drive you into silence. Let it make you shed the skin of who you no longer are, because what's coming requires a new version of you. A focused, fearless, fully aligned version. If you've been asking, why am I not moving forward? The answer is simple. Because the future you're asking for requires a foundation you haven't built yet. Alignment is the foundation. Your habits, your thoughts, your choices, they must all match the vision. You can't keep praying for peace while staying in chaos. You can't declare abundance while living in scarcity mindsets. You can't ask for elevation while tolerating environments that suffocate you. Realignment means integrity. Every part of your life must reflect what you're praying for. Otherwise, you're blocking your own blessing. Let this be your holy recalibration. The sacred pause before the divine acceleration. Because yes, acceleration is coming. Once you realign, things will move faster than you can imagine. But first you must stop resisting the stillness. Don't fear the pause. That pause is where God whispers. That pause is where healing happens. That pause is where heaven resets your coordinates. And if you don't pause on purpose, life will pause you through pressure. Avoid the burnout. Reset willingly. Chosen one. You've been carrying too much, holding too many responsibilities, taking on energies that don't belong to you. It's time to release. You do not have to hold the world on your shoulders. You only need to hold your truth. That's enough. That's more than enough. You weren't called to save everyone. You were called to stay aligned. And from that alignment, your impact becomes unstoppable. But if you continue to ignore your own misalignment, you'll become a shadow of your purpose. Your energy is sacred. Stop spending it in rooms that don't honor it. Stop explaining your transformation to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop investing your emotional bandwidth into relationships that dim your light. You were born to radiate, not to shrink. And the more aligned you become, the more your spirit will reject anything that dishonors your worth. Don't mistake that discomfort for ego. It's evolution. This is your invitation to evolve. To step out of the life you settled for and step into the life that's been waiting on your courage. You've already outgrown your old patterns. Now it's time to build new ones. Patterns that protect your peace. Patterns that reflect your identity. Patterns that respect your calling. And yes, it will be hard at first. Change always is, but the hardest thing isn't starting over. It's staying stuck. And you, chosen one, are not meant to stay stuck. You are a mover, a light bearer, a vessel of divine purpose. Everything you've lost in misalignment is being restored through realignment. And this time, it will last. Not because it's easier, but because it's true. Because it's rooted. Because it's built from obedience. And not fear. That's the difference. That's the breakthrough. When your life is aligned, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. And from that place of realness, your influence multiplies. Your power expands and your destiny begins tenfold without resistance. Chosen one. Do not underestimate what this reset will unlock. It may feel subtle now. A whisper, a nudge, a quiet clarity. But that clarity will soon become conviction. And conviction is the engine of destiny. When you act with clarity and conviction, nothing will stop you. Not delays, not disappointments, not distractions.